In the depths of the internet, there lurks a figure of dread, cloaked in mystery, the Slenderman. A creation born out of the digital age, Slenderman is a testament to the power of the internet, our collective fears, and our insatiable curiosity for the unknown. The tale of Slenderman begins quite unusually, not in an ancient folklore or a chilling campfire tale, but in a Photoshop contest on the Something Awful forum. It was the year 2009. The challenge? To create the most convincing paranormal image. Amongst the entries, one stood out. A tall, faceless figure with elongated limbs lurking ominously in the background of everyday photos. This was the birth of Slenderman. The figure quickly captured the imagination of the internet. It was the perfect storm of intrigue and fear, a faceless entity hidden in plain sight, lurking in the shadows of our everyday lives. The Slenderman was not just a photoshopped image, it was an idea, a concept that resonated with the primal fears within us all. The Slenderman phenomenon spread like wildfire. It became a viral sensation, permeating through the threads of the internet, seeping into the collective consciousness. The story evolved, details were added, and the mythos of the Slenderman grew. It was a collaborative effort, each new story, each new image, adding another layer to the enigma. The Slenderman became more than just a figure in a photoshopped image. It became a symbol, a representation of our fears and anxieties, a testament to the power of storytelling in the digital age. The Slenderman was no longer just a creation of the Something Awful forum. It was a creation of us all. And as the Slenderman phenomenon grew, so did its influence, reaching far beyond the confines of its digital birthplace. This is just the beginning of the tale, as the figure of Slenderman began to take on a life of its own. As Slenderman's story spread, the creature evolved, becoming more menacing. What started as a simple internet meme soon began to take a life of its own. The collective consciousness of the World Wide Web began to shape and mold the character of Slenderman, each user adding their own touch, their own fear, their own interpretation to the lore. As stories of this spectral figure circulated, certain attributes began to stick, becoming synonymous with the Slenderman. His form, unnaturally tall and thin, towered over the human form, a grotesque exaggeration of our own shape. The sheer size of him, the way he loomed in the shadows, it was enough to make one's hair stand on end. Yet, the most chilling aspect of Slenderman was not his height, but his face. Or rather, the lack thereof. Where a face should have been, there was nothing. No eyes to gaze into, no mouth to utter threats or promises, no brows to furrow in anger or rise in surprise. Just a blank slate, leaving his victims to project their own fears onto him. A faceless phantom, he became a mirror of our deepest, darkest anxieties. And then there was his predilection for children. Many tales spun around Slenderman painted him as a stalker of the innocent, the young, the vulnerable. He was said to lurk in the periphery of playgrounds, to wait in the shadows of schoolyards, to watch from the edge of forests as children played. The thought of such a creature preying on the defenseless was enough to make even the bravest soul shudder. In this way, the Slenderman evolved. He was no longer merely a product of the internet, but a creature of nightmares. His story, once confined to the digital realm, had seeped into the real world, prompting hushed whispers and fearful glances in the dark. The Slenderman had transformed from a simple internet meme to a figure of horror, instilling fear in the hearts of all who knew his tale. Slenderman's influence extended beyond the realm of internet forums, seeping into popular culture. This spectral figure, with his faceless countenance and unnaturally long limbs, found his way into the hearts and nightmares of people worldwide. From the digital depths of the internet, Slenderman was catapulted into the spotlight of mainstream media. His chilling presence lurked in video games, films, and television shows, becoming a staple of contemporary horror. Each appearance further solidified his status as a modern-day boogeyman, a symbol of the unexplained and unknown. Take, for instance, the video game industry, where Slenderman's influence was arguably most prominent. The release of Slender, the 8 Pages, in 2012 was a pivotal moment in his journey from internet myth to mainstream horror icon. In this game, players found themselves in a dark forest, armed only with a flashlight, while the Slenderman pursued them relentlessly. The game's success was a testament to the terror that Slenderman invoked, with players around the world captivated by the simple yet horrifying premise. But the reach of Slenderman didn't stop at video games. His unsettling figure was adapted into film, with the 2018 movie Slenderman bringing his haunting image to the big screen. Despite mixed reviews, the film demonstrated the pervasive influence of the Slenderman mythos, reaching audiences who may not have encountered him otherwise. Television wasn't immune to Slenderman's eerie allure either. Shows like Supernatural and Lost Tapes incorporated elements of the Slenderman legend into their narratives, further embedding him into the fabric of popular culture. The Slenderman phenomenon has shown us how a simple creation can evolve into a global sensation. In today's digital age, stories can spread and evolve at an unprecedented rate, turning a faceless figure from an internet forum into an iconic symbol of terror. The Slenderman had become an icon of terror, his influence reaching far beyond his digital birthplace. His legacy, a chilling reminder of our collective fascination with the unknown, continues to resonate in the corridors of pop culture. But with fame came a dark side. The Slenderman story took a chilling turn in the real world. The line between fiction and reality blurred in 2014 when the specter of Slenderman stepped out from the shadows of the internet and into the harsh light of a Wisconsin courtroom. The tale took a terrifying detour when two 12-year-old girls, captivated by the Slenderman myth, committed an unthinkable act. They lured a friend into the woods and attacked her, stabbing her multiple times. Miraculously, their friend survived, but the incident sent shockwaves through communities around the world. This was not a scene from a horror movie. It was a real-life tragedy, a chilling testament to the powerful influence that internet lore can wield over young, impressionable minds. It raised grave concerns about the potential dangers lurking within the digital stories we consume and share. It begged the question, how did a fictional character birthed from a Photoshop contest become a malevolent puppeteer, pulling the strings of two young girls in the real world? The answer lies in the complex interplay of the human psyche and the internet's echo chamber. The girls who carried out the attack were found to be engrossed in an online world where the Slenderman was very real. They believed in his existence so deeply that they felt compelled to prove their loyalty to him through this horrifying act. The ripple effects of the Wisconsin incident were far-reaching. Parents, educators, and psychologists began to grapple with the impact of internet folklore on the minds of young people. The darker corners of the web came under scrutiny, illuminating the potential for digital myths to warp reality and incite real-world violence. The Slenderman stabbing was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the power of stories and the responsibility that comes with creating and consuming them. It underscored the need for critical digital literacy for understanding the difference between online fantasy and offline reality. The figure of Slenderman had become more than a digital myth, leaving a real-world mark that could never be erased. The story of Slenderman is a testament to the power of digital storytelling and the blurred lines between fiction and reality. Weaving a narrative that has spanned over a decade, Slenderman's enduring legacy is impossible to ignore. Despite his origins in a simple Photoshop contest, this faceless, suit-clad specter has become an indelible figure in the realm of horror. He has seeped into our collective consciousness, a chilling symbol of our modern digital age. His Slenderman's popularity remains undiminished, continuing to terrify and intrigue in equal measure. He's a boogeyman for the 21st century, a terrifying embodiment of unknown threats lurking just beyond the periphery of our vision. His story has been retold and reimagined countless times, each iteration adding to his enigmatic lore. He's the subject of films, video games, and countless internet narratives, each medium further entrenching his presence in our cultural landscape. But the story of Slenderman is not just a tale of horror, it's also a discussion about the power of internet culture and its impact on our lives. The Slenderman phenomenon has sparked debates on the nature of online folklore, the potential for virality, and the blurred line between digital fiction and real-world actions. It's a reflection of our fears and fascinations, a testament to the influence of the stories we tell and consume online. The Slenderman narrative also serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the potential dangers lurking in the digital shadows. It's a chilling reminder that stories have power, that they can influence perceptions and actions, and that, in the vast expanse of the internet, it's all too easy for fiction to bleed into reality. From an innocuous Photoshop contest to a chilling figure of horror, the Slenderman story is a dark mirror reflecting our digital age. One thing is certain: Slenderman continues to lurk in the shadows, a haunting reminder of the power of a story.